Well, I got into the union just the information passed down from a friend. I was needing some work on bad times actually, and I just needed some work. And he had a plumbing company. He told me I can come work with him on some weekends, on some Saturday, earn some extra cash. And I did that, and I liked it. I liked what he paid me, and I wanted to pursue it in a different level. And he told me, well, if you wanted to take it any further without just working for me, you can apply for an apprenticeship program. And I was like, well, what is that? It's basically you can learn cash, earn your cash while you learn the trade, basically. So I signed up. I didn't get in right away. I thought it was wrong that I didn't get in, but I stuck with it because he told me that it probably would pay off if you reapplied again. I reapplied again, and I was accepted. So once I was accepted, I started going to school, and the trade has been wonderful ever since the day I signed up, because you never stop learning. You learn in tiers. From first to fifth year, it's a different curriculum every year. Every 6 months, you're doing something different, and you're getting a pay increase. So that was right up my alley to start me a new career.
Can I ask you the same question?
Yes, I was going to high school at Western High School, and it was my senior year, and I needed to get a job. And my brother was working for a contractor in Spanish Trails, LEH Contracting, and they were looking. The plumber there was looking for what they call the grasshopper. You know, it was just like a helper, just to hop when he said to hop. Basically. So I was like, all right, that's cool. So after school, I would go over his house, and he would have me like thread and cut pipe and stuff like that. And I started just doing stuff like that. And then as soon as I graduated in '93, I started going out with that dude and actually like going to the job sites in the morning. And I just was working at a couple different plumbing companies since then, and then I ran into an organizer from Local 525 when I was working at K&N Plumbing, and they told me about the benefits of the union, and I joined, and then as I was working in the union, and I didn't know there was like different tiers to it, and I heard about this apprenticeship. And I was like, man, if I'm going to be in the local for 30 years, I want to go through the apprenticeship, and have my irons in the same fires as everybody else, and experience the same thing that everybody experiences. So I ended up joining the apprenticeship and graduated in 2005, and then, worked for various companies in the Valley. And then in 2016, I ran for Plumbers Examining Board, and got the Plumbers Examining Board, and then I started working with Demetrius. He would bring the guys, to the local, and then he would have me test them to make sure that they were up to journeyman caliber.
The next question I have for you guys is, how did the Union 525 impact your life in the most significant way?
Well, 525 impacted my life. It saved my life, actually, because it gave me something to do. It took me to places I never thought I would go, because I traveled on the road for 10 years. A little bit about my background as far as like the work scope. I'm a pipe fitter welder, so it's work on the road for you, and it's not work here at home. So places that I've been, I probably never would have gotten to go there, because I would have had no need outside of going for work. And it showed me that the world is way bigger than you think it is, and they need you in more than just one place. And to me, I think the union provide that. It give you an outlet to travel, see some of the things you probably never would have seen. It's almost like a traveling vacation, only you getting paid for it. You know what I mean? And it impacted me on a level where I've bought houses, I've bought cars, I've paid for like family to do things that they probably wouldn't have gotten to do. I don't come from a family where we was just all gung-ho to go to college. I was raised by my grandmother and my mom, so that was two women that was struggling on the mean streets of South Central LA, and it was tough. Only thing you're gonna wanna know is, why couldn't I have found this sooner? That's the only thing that always follow me. Why can't I find this sooner? I feel like I'll be so far ahead of the game than what I'm actually am right now at this point. So that's what it did for me. It impacted my life. Had I not had this, I wouldn't be here talking to you. Probably in prison somewhere.
The trade is really, it's funny when D and I talk. D's got this really great saying that I love, that I use a lot. The 525, the road to 525 is paved with broken dreams. And what I mean by that is, when D and I were coming up, it was always like, you're gonna go to college, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what you did. You went to school to go to college, right? No one ever said when you were younger, hey, you can go, there's this trade stuff, there's unions, there's trade schools. They didn't, because it was the good old boys club. They kept that. It was harder to get into a union when we were coming up than it was to get into a college. You know what I'm saying? It was easier to get into a college than it was to actually get into a union. It was hard. If you weren't family, if you didn't know someone, it was super hard to get in. So, when I was going to high school, I wanted to be a chef. I had dreams of being a chef, and at first it was an orthodontist, because I was good with my hands. You know what I mean? Then it turned into wanting to be a chef. Well, all that stuff, to make that a reality, it's a lot of money. Well, I didn't have that. My mom and dad didn't have that. You know what I mean? We were broke. You know what I mean? So what was I gonna do? I got a job doing plumbing, and then this just morphed into this, right? And it's the greatest fallback opportunity for a career, because it's a legit career. It's incredible. This fallback is $100K plus a year fallback. I mean, it's crazy, right? After you make $50 an hour, you're right there at 100,000. We're making $54 an hour on the check. You work 40 hours a week times 2,000 hours. There's 2,080 hours in a year, right? There you go. You're over six figures. That's not even to mention your benefits. Your benefits are crazy, right? I mean, you're getting Anthem, Blue Cross, Blue Shield insurance. You're getting a sick pension every 1,200 hours you work. You're getting a pension credit. The pension credit's worth $100, right. So the way it's changed my life is, working non-union. I walked away. I worked non-union for like 5, 6, 7 years, somewhere in there. And when I walked away with nothing.
And so for my last question, I would like to ask you guys, one, if you could go back and tell yourself something when you were in the union or before you started, what would you have to say?
I would tell this, and I do tell this to everyone that is starting out. Your reputation is going to follow you. So just make sure, hey, here's the deal. Everything that you do in life, you autograph it. You know what I'm saying? You put your signature, you stamp it. You know what I mean? So if it's not good, you're stamping that. You're putting your stamp on that. And that's going to follow you everywhere. And that reputation's hard to shake. You know what I mean? You can do it, but it takes a long time and it takes a lot of work. You know what I mean? Whereas if you just had a good reputation to begin with, and you show up on time, do all the right things, you do it the right way. You know what I mean? You don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. So I just always, just encourage everybody, when you're starting off, just start off the right way, and
the advice that I would give myself starting out in the union is be a little bit more open. Is it worth it going back in there and continue what was yesterday? Or do I come in the morning and you know what we got going on? We're going to get these hangers up. We're going to get these lifts moved out here. We're going to make sure the electrician's going to be out of the way so we can get in there. Or I'm going to come in the morning and be like, you know what, bro? I don't like what you was doing yesterday. I can't live in yesterday. That's one thing that I feel like my grandmom always told me. If you live in yesterday, you cut off anything that can be in your future. Because yesterday, you got to leave it there. No one's perfect. I think I want to end it by saying people not always what they seem if you give them a chance to recorrect, because that's what this is going to always be. We still in real life. even though we doing this construction thing, we taking on these jobs, we doing everything we doing, still, you're going to have some days where you're going to question some things that's going on with your higher ups. And it's going to be up to you to know that, you know what? It's a bigger picture. We talking about 5-year apprenticeship, get through that. We talking about journeyman pay, get through that. You're going to be okay. I'm glad that I took the advice of, I want to say, my people that was around me. That's why I'm here today, and that's why I'm going to continue to be here as long as I can, because I got so much to give back. I haven't even started yet. I've been organizing since 19, and I want to do it for another 5 years. And that's just like what it is to me, because I see that it's a need for these seats to be occupied by the right people. If not, why even have a seat?